Student from our area who was on campus when the drama began. He's joining us now live from Virginia with that story. Joel.
Well, as you expect, Hasiel, of course, the mood here is disbelief. We did talk to a student earlier today. We'll tell you a little bit more about that in a bit. I want to give you an idea of what's going on behind me right now. You see this big, huge building here. Just past that is the middle of campus, and that is a big, wide open area where some students are today, but because classes are canceled, not many students are out. Matter of fact, there's just as many media members here today as there are students. They are talking to members of the media, and a lot of them just feel confused today. The few that are there have made a bit of a makeshift memorial. They're signing that and trying to share their thoughts and prayers there, but it's very ominous because right next to that emotional area is still the building where all these shots rang out. The second groups of shootings happened in the engineering building that's still being guarded by police today, and the police tape is still up in that area as well. We did talk to someone that is Tyler Ahrens, a Wilson High grad. He's a sophomore now here at Virginia Tech. He says he loves the campus for a number of reasons, but today he's really questioning everything about the college experience. Yesterday he learned just on his way to class what had happened. It was a little bit later than some other people did. And then he also learned even later than that one of the people that was hurt, not killed, but hurt, is one of his friends. He went and visited him in the hospital yesterday. He has a broken leg because he jumped out of a second floor window of the same building where all that shooting was going on. He says that a lot of people jumped out of windows. That has not been reported very well yet, so we wanted to get that word out. He says a lot of people escaped in that way, or maybe this could have been even worse, although that seems unimaginable right now. He's worried that later today he will learn that some of the people that have died maybe are people that he knows. He knows a lot of engineering students, he tells us, so he's worried about that. As for response, that has been very critical here by a lot of people. He says a lot of the friends he talks to on campus, fellow students, they do not have such a critical view of what happened. He says that it's a big campus. How can you protect the entire campus? He doesn't blame them for not shutting everything down. He doesn't think there's much more that security could have done. He says he still feels safe here at Virginia Tech. He intends to stay here, and he really loves the campus for a number of reasons because, as some say, it's wide open. It's in the middle of nowhere, and so he likes that fact because he feels that it's really secluded from everywhere else. But he's afraid now that the college experience will be changed forever based on what has happened here. We'll talk to him later today about that and many other things. He will be going to the convocation ceremony happening at 2 o'clock on a different part of campus that you can't see right now. Thousands of people are expected to go to that, including the First Lady Laura Bush and also President George Bush. As for the president, he has said that he wants all flags at half-staff across the country from now until sunset on Sunday as a way of honoring the many dead here at Virginia Tech. We'll have much more, including that conversation with Tyler Ahrens, a Wilson High graduate who's now a student here at Virginia Tech, coming up later at 5 and 5:30. Until then, live in Blacksburg, Virginia, on the campus of Virginia Tech, I'm Joel D. Smith, 69 News.
Thank you, Joel.
Thanks.
WFMZ's Joel D. Smith has the latest now from Virginia Tech University in Blacksburg, Virginia.
I don't understand why you would kill 2 people and injure more in one side of campus and then wait 2 hours and then go kill like 26 more, 27 more. I just don't, it's beyond me to understand why.
Thousands of his fellow students don't understand either, a day after the worst killing spree on a college campus ever. Tyler Ahrens was in his dorm when he found out what happened, so he stayed there for most of the day, but he has many classes in buildings next to Norris Hall, and at least one of his friends was inside during the shooting.
He was one of the few that jumped out of the window. The shooter was in the room next to his, and he heard what was going down, and he ripped the screen out of the window and jumped out.
His friend suffered a broken leg, but should be all right. Yet Tyler fears some of his other friends might not be.
With 30 people dead from the College of Engineering, I find it hard to believe that I don't know anyone.
On one part of campus, before students even know the names of victims, they are claiming they will still never forget them. And while the place of this tragedy remains off limits, theories on how it could have been prevented are not under wraps. Just don't include Tyler among the school's many detractors.
In retrospect, you can say, well, they didn't do it right. But when people are being shot on a university campus, what is right? I mean, you just do the best you can, and that's all you can ask for.
Even so, he admits college life in this tranquil town may never be the same.
I don't even know. Things are definitely going to change, and they probably have to.
And that was Joel D. Smith reporting.
Students view the campus community. WFMZ's Joel D. Smith sat down with a Berks County high school grad who now goes to Virginia Tech. He reports now from Blacksburg.
We're out here essentially in the middle of nowhere, pretty much, and it's kind of like its own little community.
And that's what many students like Wilson High grad Tyler Ahrens love about Virginia Tech.
I never, ever, ever felt unsafe in Blacksburg. I mean, there was never... I mean, we left our doors unlocked in our suite.
But after the worst killing spree on a college campus ever, all that has changed.
I talked to my roommate this morning, and he had gotten back from the hospital. He found out that one of his friends from high school was one that had been killed.
Another friend of his barely escaped becoming another victim.
The shooter was in the room next to his, and he heard what was going down, and he ripped the screen out of the window and jumped out.
His friend suffered a broken leg and is expected to recover just fine. But some are not so sure the Virginia Tech campus will. Because now the questions are pouring in from media members from around the world and from right here on campus. Should more have been done sooner to possibly prevent more deaths? Tyler Ahrens, for one, can't see how.
We had a bomb threat, and the campus was closed all weekend, or minus essential personnel. And then they reopened at 7, and at 7:15 there was a shooting. I mean, how can you expect anyone to be ready for that?
As students find their own ways to mourn and try to move on, there's another lingering question still in the minds of many. Why did the shooter do this?
I definitely want to know what drove him to do it. But I don't care why he did it. It's still not going to make it any easier to understand. I don't care what his motive was. I'm still not going to understand it. Why he chose to speak out in this way. It's just wrong.
But through all this, Tyler says this campus in the middle of nowhere is still somewhere he wants to stay. In Blacksburg, Virginia, Joel D. Smith, 69 News, Berks Edition.